Hello neighbor, this is Curt with eTrailer, and today we're taking a look at the Thule T2 Pro XTR bike rack, and we're going to see how it works with our 2025 Toyota RAV4. Now it's important to note that there are several trim models of the RAV4, but they all have a very consistent hitch fit and bike rack fit as well. So you can expect this to fit the same on your RAV4, whether it's a standard or a hybrid or otherwise. Now, Thule is a well-regarded manufacturer when it comes to things like vehicle accessories and bike racks, and the T2 Pro XTR is no exception. It's going to be a wheel mount, so we're going to have an arm and a hook here. It could be released and ratcheted down into place, so it could get a good, nice, tight fit across your wheel. It is rubber padded here as well. It's just going to give it a lot of extra grip and be a little easier on your tires than something that's going to be much harder, like a hard plastic or something. Each of our posts are also going to have an integrated cable lock, which can be wrapped around the bike and attached here. There is a lock here, and it is going to be key-to-like to your anti-rattle locking system that's located down there in the hitch. So those can also be key-to-like with Thule's one-key system, meaning if you've got other Thule accessories that are key-to-like, you actually have the option to get these locks all key-to-like as well, therefore kind of reducing the clutter on your keychain, maybe having one set of keys that works with all of your Thule accessories. Our points of contact are going to be that arm and hook here in the front, along with a ratcheting wheel strap in the back that's going to have a rubber pad on it to protect your wheels. The wheel cups can accommodate tires up to 5 inches wide, and we can accommodate wheelbases from 20 to 29 inches by sliding our rear wheel tray back and forth just like so. But let's take a look at how it fits on our RAV4. So this bike rack does a really good job of keeping the bike a little bit further away from the back of the vehicle. As you can see, we've got plenty of room back here, and even on rougher terrain, we're in no real danger of any contact being made between the two. And if you'd like a frame of reference for the size of your bike, the bike we have on here today has a large frame, 15-inch wide handlebars, and a pretty standard size pedal as well. So if you can use those to kind of reference how your bike will fit, I think you'll do just fine with this, especially considering how far away from the vehicle it is. And with any hitch bike rack, we are going to end up with some visual obstructions back here. Now, this does keep the bike pretty high off the ground, so you're definitely going to be seeing it through your rear window. We're also going to have some obstruction over our taillights and our license plate, as well as our rear view camera. So because of that, it's really important to understand what kind of footprint this is leaving behind your bumper. So from the bumper to the furthest point on the rack, we're right at about 36.5 inches. So just bear in mind, you got a little over 3 feet extra back here that you're going to have to account for when you're backing into a tight space or trying to parallel park. The other thing we always want to take a look at is our ground clearance, especially because this does keep the bikes a little further away from the vehicle. Ground clearance becomes very important. So there's 2 points here that I'm going to measure from. One is the very end of the bike rack, and the other is from this rubber bumper down here on the bottom. From the end of the bike rack, we're at 21 inches. And from that rubber bumper on the bottom there, we've got about 18.5 inches. So either one of those measurements to me indicates that we've got more than enough ground clearance here. However, it is something that you want to keep in mind if you come across a steep incline or driveway. The other thing that we're going to take a look at is because this actually could carry up to 60 pounds per tray, let's take a look and see what kind of lift you're going to need on your bike in order to get it up on the rack. So this is a tiered bike rack, meaning that this tray that is closer to the vehicle is a little bit lower than the tray that's further away. And if we wanted to get our bike up and into position on this first tray here, we're going to want to make sure that we're comfortable lifting our bike up to a height of about 23.5 inches. And on the furthest wheel tray, we're going to want to make sure that we can get that up about almost 24 inches. So just bear that in mind. Just make sure you're comfortable lifting your bike up about 2 feet in the air in order to get it on and off this bike rack. One of the most common questions that we hear here at eTrailer when it comes to a hitch bike rack is, will you have access to your cargo area without unloading your bike? And the answer is yes. When it comes to the RAV4 and the T2 Pro XTR, we can indeed do that. There is a latch mechanism right here in this handle that once we brace the bike, we can go under and engage that latch. We'll hear a loud click, slowly lower it away from the back of the vehicle. And at this point, we can come on around and get total access in and out of our cargo area. It clears the handlebars and the pedals by several inches. So even if you had a bike that's slightly larger than this, you should be just fine. But now I can get in and out of my cargo area. I can get more water, change my shoes, grab my helmet, other equipment, a snack, whatever it might be, before heading back out or out on the trail. Or maybe on the way home from the trail, I just decided to stop at the store and get some groceries. Now I can load and unload those without removing the bike from the rack and making everything much more convenient. And when it's time to get back on the road, I don't need to engage that latch. I can just simply lift up against the lever. Once it clicks into place, I'm ready to start driving again. Now, loading and unloading your bike from this bike rack is actually a really simple process. Remember, we only have 2 points of contact. So when unloading the bike, I'm going to come to the rear wheel strap first. We always want to have the post and hook engaged in order to keep the bike upright before messing with this strap. So if I'm loading the bike, I'm doing the arm and hook first and then the strap. When unloading, I'm doing the strap first and then the arm and hook. So since we're unloading, I'm going to go ahead and depress this gray button right here. That's going to release my rear wheel strap. When I'm loading and I put this on, I can click up on this and ratchet it down really tight, making this very, very secure on the rack. But when unloading, I'm just going to bring this up and through. I'm going to clear it through on the other side before coming over to my arm and hook. At this point, I'm going to depress this button here that's located on the front of my post, lift up on the hook, clear the wheel, and now I can remove my bike and either store it or hit the trail. Now with the bike removed, remember we got a little over 3 feet back here that we don't really need anymore. That added to the fact that this bike rack weighs about 52 pounds, so it's probably not something you're going to want to install and uninstall too often. But it does have a wheel assist to it that does help you get it back and forth. However, still, it's not all that convenient for something this heavy to have to do that over and over again. And if you're somebody that rides really, really frequently, this is a rack that might actually just live in your hitch. But since we don't need all this extra when we're not taking a bike with us, we do have a stowaway position to reduce that footprint. We're going to engage that same latch we did for the tilt-away. However, instead of letting it fall away, we're going to lift up against it. And then once it clicks into place, we've got it up and in our stowed position. Now from here, we've reduced that footprint to from over 3 feet down to about 15 inches. So we still have a little more than a foot back here that we're going to have to account for, but that's much better than dealing with that extra 3 feet that we would have on here when we have a bike loaded up. However, it is important to note that when we do have it up and in this position, we did regain full visibility out of our rear window. Other drivers are going to get full visibility of our taillights, so that's, really good for safety. But we are going to have our rear view camera and our license plate blocked. So it is important to understand what's back here, just so that you know when you're getting in and out of those tight spaces what kind of room you're going to have. So that's a look at the Thule T2 Pro XTR bike rack on our 2025 Toyota RAV4. And if after watching this video you decide this is the bike rack for you, and you get it and you have a chance to use it for a little bit, please share with us what you think about it in the comments below. We would love to share that experience with other neighbors just like you so they can make the best decision for themselves. Once again, this is Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.